An apothecary class concept. Would you like to see and play as one? What perks should it be able to unlock? Alright, so I do think this class is likely the most likely class we could have added to the game. And when I first heard about apothecaries, they kind of, they basically were explained to me as healers, which makes sense. However, I've been playing Tacticus, the Warhammer mobile game, and they do have an apothecary in that game, and it definitely kind of made me enjoy the game more. I gotta be honest. The game was pretty good. I don't really like mobile games that much, but I just got a new phone, so I wanted to try it out. And, I saw that game, I downloaded it, played it for a bit, and I was having a good time with it as far as mobile games go. Like I said, I don't really like mobile games. But when I received the apothecary, I was like, dude, okay, we definitely need this in Space Marines 2. Something about the apothecary can allow your team to just play more aggressive, and I think in Space Marine 2, that would be the perfect gameplay loop. And even here, we have a pretty good concept here. I do think, yes, this does look clean, and I do believe this would be more balanced than the Terminator. This is when we saw the Terminator last time. They had a heavy weapon and a melee, and they were able to use both, and obviously they're Terminators. But also we have the Oculus here, which makes sense. Neo Volkite pistol, I agree. I do think this is a very good apothecary concept, and I just want to reiterate, I do think a pure healing class would be great for the game because it would basically allow your assault player to play as aggressive as they want, fueling the fun that class would bring from that. That would be, oh my god, if I just had, just some sort of heals, that would be really nice. But okay, so here for the perk, we see Narthsium. Heal 40% of a teammate's HP. This 20% more over the course of 1 minute, plus 20% more over the course of 1 minute. 2 charges, interesting. I like the idea of this. 40% of HP, and then, 2-minute cooldown time? Huh. I mean, I like the idea of it. 40% seems like a lot, though, doesn't it? That's like almost half their HP bar. I like the idea of HP, or plus 25% over the time of... So, basically, the passive healing is what interests me here. Now, on Tacticus, you can just do the full heals because it's a strategy game. So, that's pretty much how that operates. It would be kind of weird to have passive healing in that game. But they do have the ability to heal a entire area. So, I'm curious if their skill could basically heal an entire area instead of just healing, burst healing one person. I think they should have burst heals, but I think it should be an opposite perk or something. I think their ability should give everyone passive healing. We were talking about the banner in this way, but I still don't think the banner needs to do passive healing. I think passive healing would be more appropriate with the apothecary. I gotta say, this concept is so good, it makes me really believe that we could see it. I know I could be coping a little bit here, but I do think this is, they nailed the concept here. I could even go as far to nerf this class. Let's just say, hey, you know what? This is kind of crazy to take out a melee weapon, but if a healing class would be too strong, taking out a melee weapon would be an easy way to just make the class feel a little bit less powerful than other classes, but still have their healing be the focus of their synergy, and likely would be one of the strongest classes in the game, even without a melee. I gotta be honest. The apothecary idea is just so good. I would love to see this in the game. And we did see this helm on the leaked, the leaked cosmetics. Just throwing it out there, not that it's relevant. not that they're connected at all, but we did see this helm. This would be cool. Now, I gotta say, I would love to hear the devs mention a new class. So that's why I'm also kind of highlighting this, because I would definitely enjoy hearing the devs kind of address, hey, what is the chances you guys make a new class? It doesn't even have to be this year. Seriously, if they were just hey, new class 2026, that would seriously brighten some people's outlook on the game. I do understand this is asking for a lot, but okay. That's pretty much all I had to say about it. But yeah, I definitely had some thoughts about Apothecary, considering that I was trying it out in a Warhammer 40k game. That does feel pretty good. It feels like it's a good battle strategy game. You know, it's fine. I've just been playing some missions here and there. I got the Apothecary and was really enjoying it a lot more when they added Apothecary, or when I, basically received the Apothecary to use. It just felt like it basically switches up the gameplay loop for players who would want to try out like a pure support build. Now, I have tried pure support Bulwark, but it basically led me to not fight. I would parry, but I didn't want to attack things because I just felt like it would, I don't know, it kind of downplays the amount of support I'm doing if I'm just taking out every enemy, because I was also playing with new players, so I don't know. I do think a support build would be very nice to see in the game. I do have a good time. Like, I did a full healing Elden Ring build for a co-op, and that was fun. So I can see me enjoying a pure healer way more in this game. It would be cool to get some Apothecary and Tech Marine cosmetics, but free health packs on cooldown seemed like it could kind of break the game. Yeah, that definitely... I'm not too sure if we're talking about the same ability here, but basically how I read it, it said 40% HP, like 2-minute cooldown. That does sound pretty strong. But I wouldn't mind like an area healing, like passive heal. That would be cool. I could see that being good. But yeah, I also agree. See, this is the thing about healing in this game. If you just had free HP and just like free health packs to heal yourself, you would clean up all of your mistakes, and then there would be no challenge. Healing in this game is exceptionally strong, for sure. And we all know that. I think maybe the most balanced way to implement apothecaries would be to make them first and foremost a biologist that gives buffs to attacks, as well as biologist scan, or something like a kill counter per enemy type that increases damage against other enemies of that type for the whole squad. Oh, I like that idea. The biologist is a biologist that studies enemies to find their weakness. Yeah, but now this feels like a different class. I do like the sort of like subsection of the perks that could do stuff like this, though. But I wouldn't want to change the name from apothecary to biologist. But I do understand why there would be biologist traits in an apothecary. I think the kind of skills I'd go for would be base passive, free squad pickup of Gene Seed without needing an inventory slot? Ooh. Okay. I don't know how that would work for the user interface, but I like this idea. That's a good idea. So long as the apothecary doesn't die, yes, I agree. 100%. Wow, this is a good comment. Also a ping when Gene Seed is nearby. Yep, I like this. I like this a lot. Yeah, I like this perk. I think this all could be... Now, this is base passive. I would definitely have a perk slot for something like that. That's pretty strong for a passive. But that said, I wouldn't know what passive to replace this with, so I'll give it to them. Active ability, Biologist Scan. Units effective take additional damage over time when hit, poison, and/or percent to receive critical hits to distinguish it from the Auspex. But yeah, it's already a scan, though. It's already too similar just from that, right? I would want a active ability that heals, but let's continue reading. This could be further refined with increased DT duration, DT contagion to nearby units. So slowing effects, reduced damage output, effects blindness. And/or for criticals, increased chance to crit, increased crit damage if crit kills target explodes, etc. Yeah, that's a lot. I'm not gonna lie, that's a lot. You're basically giving them a debuff and also giving them damage over time while also increasing the crit. It's just it is distinguishable. It is distinguishable from the scan, but I would replace this with a healing ability, 100%. And I do like the idea of increasing crit damage, though. That could be a perk on itself. Passive healing perks. Be near apothecary and double duration of recoverable health. Ooh, okay, I like this. Basically, 10% heal every 60 seconds for nearby brothers. Apothecary ignores first mortal wound. Apothecary always trickle heals to 40% health when not on a mortal wound. Okay, so we got two different perks here. I like the idea of being near the apothecary doubles duration of recoverable health. I do like that idea. That sounds strong, and I do think that would be a perk on itself. And then apothecary ignores first mortal wound. I would say apothecary res Like, if you were to res with the Apothecary, it ignores the first mortal wound of the operation. Yeah, I agree with this. And maybe also make the res do, res quicker. But then, it's a little weird because the sniper, I would just give it to the sniper just to keep the fast reses just because the sniper is just more skilled with that sort of thing, but the Apothecary is more potent. That's a way to explain it, I guess. Revive perks. Time to revive reduced by 75%. Does it passively? Can just be standing over them. Ooh, okay. I like that idea. I like the idea of passive revives. Making the time to revive a little bit faster. I mean, sure. I guess the passive ability on the revive would be enough to make it unique from the sniper that I kind of like it, but that does sound very strong, I gotta be honest. Reduce time to respawn by 50% when Apothecary is last standing. Okay, yes, that's amazing. Can remove a mortal wound when reviving once every 180 seconds. No, I would keep the mortal wound res and, ignore the first mortal wound on the, for the operation. I would keep that. I do like the reduced time to respawn by 50% when Apothecary is last standing. I do like that. I would even go further on that and put the respawn time at 75% more. Reduce the time by 75% if Apothecary is last standing. I would do that. Kill counter perk. For each kill an Apothecary makes on a unit of a class, increase damage to that class for the whole squad. Yes, I like this idea. It says 1% to 50%, but I'm already sold on this idea. I don't even need numbers. Basically, Apothecary will stack this up to 50% by the end of the operation. Your teammates will be doing 50% more damage. That is interesting. I would kind of nerf that, I gotta be honest. 50% more damage for the whole squad is kind of crazy. But I would make it easier to get to the max. So I would keep the same rules, but I would say, like, I don't know, 25%, something like that. Miscellaneous perks, 50% Gene Seed experience buff, increased damage, recoverable health while holding Gene Seed. I like the idea of holding the Gene Seed and getting more health. Yeah, that makes sense. If the Apothecary has the Gene Seed, maybe give him like a passive res. Passive res. Yeah, just more passive healing. Why not? But okay, yeah, that's fair. Med packs heal additional 10%. Melee extends duration of recoverable health, etc. Okay, this is a great comment. Holy cow, this sounds really good. A lot of this is it feels very applicable to the game. All of this is very relevant, and I feel like this would be a great class for Absolute right now, for sure. Those would be the kinds of things you could do with a class like that. Earned healing, different types of damage, a bit of tactical finesse here and there to activate the effects. Yes, definitely. Weapons, primary 1 or 2 kinds of bolter. Maybe have passive nerfs to bolter accuracy or something. Interesting. I don't know. I guess we would have to give... See, here's the thing. We would basically have to give the Apothecary a melee weapon, so maybe just give them a combat knife, I guess. Primaries, you would also have to give them less... They would look like a tactical with less weapon options. I would say give them the auto bolter. Why not, though? I like that idea. I would say the auto bolter... let's try to give them one more... Yeah, the Oculus they showed in the picture, so I feel like that's a little... I'm cheating for that. Maybe the Instigator, I guess. Instigator and Oculus are two very similar weapons I feel like could benefit that class, actually. Yeah, that makes sense. Secondary. Absolver, Volkite, Plasma Pistol, Melee, Chainsword, Chain Fist. Oh, yeah, let's... Wait, what? What's a Chain Fist? Legit, I've not heard of a Chain Fist. Chain Fist? That's sick, dude. Oh my god. How did we not get the chainsaw shield from the new Doom game or whatever? But that's cool. Reductor, single target stab drill. I see. Yeah, maybe giving them a cool new melee weapon. Something like the Reductor sounds more basically more doable. The Chain Fist is way too similar to a Power Fist, right? And honestly, I would just say give them a new primary, and then the melee would be a combat knife. That's how I would do this. But everything else here sounds very, very good. Holy cow, this is a good comment. Yeah, definitely let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this, because yeah, this was a great breakdown. I agree with like 90% of these perks. Don't do that. Don't give me hope. Look, I agree. I don't want any insane coping for basically for a new class that would be this good, it would be amazing. I genuinely think this class would be a bigger impact to the game than if they added a Terminator class. The thing about the Terminator class, though, is just what could take it down, you know? But with this class, it actually feels a little bit more balanced for the game, but the potential for the class to just, you know, get a lot of support for your teammates could really make some of these absolute runs a tad bit easier, for sure. Dude, I would love a pure support class for this game. Something like the Apothecary sounds very good. But yeah, this is this is an entire video of fantasizing on a class that should be added to a game that has not been confirmed. Oh my god, dude. This would be cool. But this is why it's fun to talk about this stuff, because it kind of gives us an outlook on what could be possible. And that's why it's also important to keep the discussions going, because it would be really fun to hear the devs' honest opinions about adding an Apothecary to this game. And even if they were a little hesitant on this, it's just like, dude, you do not understand. We've been playing this game for so we've been playing a lot of this game that we can actually visualize what an accurate Apothecary would look like. And it's definitely worth considering, because it's something that would definitely add to the replayability of this game, and it would also add to the gameplay loop to feel a little less punishing, which would go a really long way for players to enjoy the harder to play classes. There's tons of good points, obviously, why this would be good for the game. But it would also be pretty funny to see how strong that class actually would be. Well, for good teams. I imagine playing with randoms could be here or there with the Apothecary. Some randoms likely just wouldn't understand how to play around the kit. But yeah, for good teams, an Apothecary would absolutely carry them. Don't do that. Don't give me hope. Yeah, I'm sorry for the hope, guys. I'm sorry. I feel the same way, though. Trust me, dude. That concept was so good, man.